The Leadership Lounge.
Happy Sunday, y'all. Welcome back.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. What's good? Welcome to the Leadership Lounge, where I am your host, Lewis Marshall, here with my co-host, Uriah Muhammad, and Miss Adama. And we got a very special guest host today, Miss Kimberly Offord. What's up, Kim?
Hey. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for coming.
Adama, how are you?
I am lovely. How are you all doing?
I'm good.
I don't know if you guys can hear. I got kids. My little cousin is here, and they are tearing it up upstairs. So if you hear some kids, that's my bad.
They're living their best 2025 life right now, huh?
Yes.
You got all your tech gear out? You got all your tech stuff out for them?
No, they're just playing like hide and seek. They're just like running around.
Yeah, old school game.
Yeah.
Oh, so we might see a head peek around.
Yeah.
The corner. I got you.
This might be a hiding spot. Don't tell them I'm here.
That's his production team. That's what we're gonna call him. Daddy. That's his production.
That's what's up. Hey, I want to just real quick get this out of the way so that it's done and out of the way. Housekeeping. So the thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on the Leadership Lounge Live are for entertainment and informational purposes only. They do not reflect the official policies, beliefs, or positions of any individuals, organizations, or platforms mentioned. Viewer discretion is advised, and we encourage independent research and critical thinking. Enjoy the conversation, and let's get into it. All right, so Ms. Kim, let me jump over. I've been a big fan of your artwork and your videos. We got introduced, several months back, but I'm really, really thankful that you were able to come on the show today. So tell us about how you got introduced to AI, and second part, have you found it to be a comfortable transition?
Okay, so how I first got introduced into AI. So I am a marketer. Might as well say I am a career marketer, and I am a realtor. I'm a full-time realtor. I've even managed offices. And so I'm always finding ways I don't manage right now, but I'm always trying to find ways to help realtors, myself included, market themselves. And so I always stay on top of my game in terms of technology and everything else. Well, around the pandemic time, I started working with AI and teaching speaking. I even have a couple of workbooks carried by the National Association of Realtors. And so I really jumped into ChatGPT and using AI as a marketing tool. And it just, went from there. So how I got into the images, as anyone who's in sales and in marketing, you're always looking for a way to market yourself with video, etc. And so I started working with Midjourney in creating B-roll video for social media. So maybe I might use, I don't know, maybe I would have like a house, a kitchen, and I was creating different, kitchens and scenery and everything else and using it in Canva. And then it just went from there, from creating the images for marketing to creating those images that I'm doing right now. So that's pretty much how I got started. And was that transition easy? Absolutely. It was very easy. Because before all of that, I've just been a creative all my life, very imaginative. I've written a fiction novel. So I have these scenes playing around in my head. And so that was a natural transition, into AI and images and video.
Nice.
Awesome.
You guys got any questions for Ms. Kim?
Oh, for sure. I guess what would you say is one of your biggest wins, like if you're like us, I know there's you can't do without it, right? At this point now, right? So what's your favorite feature and what's one of your frustrations with AI?
Oh goodness, what isn't a favorite feature? I mean, so I don't. Okay, so if you're talking about it like a mechanical feature, I love the video portion. I love bringing things to life with the video. But if you're talking about just a benefit of AI is storytelling. Right now, when you're talking about branding and marketing, and that is my background, branding and marketing, people are leaning into storytelling. And so AI gives you the ability to be that storyteller. Um, right now, more than anything, because our stories are being muted, or at least they're trying to mute our stories, it is so critical that we have the tools that we need to tell our stories. And right now, we have access to everything to do just that. So that's one of the biggest things about the AI tools that I love. The one thing that I don't like is the unpredictability. It's unpredictable. You people think that hey, can you do me and my daughter and we're sitting and then we're doing this and that, and I'm like, look, it don't work like that. It just doesn't. And I'm not about to sit there and frustrate myself trying to make it work like that. So it's the unpredictableness of it that I'm like, that I don't like about it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that we sometimes deal with that on the image side also and trying to navigate that. Autumn, I know that you've had that experience in Unleashed. What do you think about that?
She said everything I needed her that I don't want to say everything she said everything I needed her to say. She did say everything that I was literally thinking in that part. But I wanted to I'm so excited for you to be on, and I had visited your site and everything. And I do have a question.
Okay.
So my question is, what inspired you to create the playground? Like yes, what made you do that? Like step into that realm? Because I know, like when I've seen your work before, but then with you coming on the show, I really dug deeper, like the Harriet Tubman, all that. And I was like, wow, she just went straight for it.
Yeah. So, okay. My childhood shaped a lot of what you see. You know how they say that we're all big kids, at heart. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who has vision, anybody who is creative, really, to be honest, a lot of that is you dig deep for that, And so my childhood was Ebony magazine, Essence magazine, Jet magazine, Ebony Jet Fashion Fair fashion show. Living in Chicago, you're right. Living in Chicago, we've had some greats in Chicago. That, and I don't know how old you are, but I'm not afraid to tell my age. I was a kid of the 70s, and so I lived through a lot of the pioneers, and got to see a lot of that just through my great grandparents and my grandparents, and what have you. And so a lot of that is in the work, but I was also a sci-fi kid too. And I was an only child for a very long time. And so what you see is a lot of what I saw watching television, watching whatever, and not seeing us. That's the key. Not seeing us. You know what I mean? And it was like whenever one of those movies came out that we were in, it's like you grabbed onto it because you didn't know when another one was going to come up, and just seeing us in that science fiction, era, in that science fiction genre rather. And so that's where a lot of it comes from. If I had to think of what an ideal world for me, you know, we talk about Afrofuturism all the time, and when people hear the word Afrofuturism, they think of, you know, Wakanda, and that ain't that. Yeah, that's one thing, but that's not the full scope of what Afrofuturism is, you know, and that's why I'm doing that Black History series, because everybody in that series that I'm featuring, they were Afrofuturists. They were Black people who saw themselves bigger than life, and they actually, you know, went after it. And so what you see, that playground pastime world, is if I could create a world that was of, you know, that I envision, and how I see us, that's what it would be. Very futuristic, very advanced, but real familiar, like, because you don't know what year it is when you look at it. Could be in the future, it could have been in the past, who knows, you know. So that's where it came from.
Guys, I just have a thank you. You know I was busting out my inseams, right? You guys know I was busting out, because you guys know that she was speaking to my inner creativity soul. I can breathe now, Kim. I can breathe, because I looked at your name and looked at your company's name, and I want to encourage everyone to go to her page. I mean, the fact that this is here waiting for us, I literally felt like, and yep, our awesome producer has it right there for you listed. I honestly felt like when I saw that name, I connected with it, and I'm being completely transparent. I felt like Saturday morning cartoons. I felt like something familiar. And I felt like us as Black women, like you didn't give it some, you know, like you gave it something that's like, this is home. Yeah. This is where we're going to learn. And this is where I'm going to show you who I am. And I want to commend you on it, because I saw the steampunk, I saw the beautiful shades of me, you, all of us here, because we're all different complexions. And I saw all of us in your site. So I really encourage, I think one of the things that I've noticed with AI is, with the AI part of it, the creativity part, a lot of the men support each other. Some of the women do, but the women who are real hard at it, and you're one of them, because you're completely cold with your work. Like, I love it. I encourage you all to go to her and look at it, because I was blown away. Like, I put it on big screen. I even showed my daughter. I was like, look at this, you know. So I just want to say thank you for letting us know where that stemmed from. That was my main question, and I loved how, because I was going to say it blends Afrofuturism in it. So I love it, and I love how you gave the definition of that as well. Thank you. Yeah.
One of the things that, and listen, I don't knock anybody's work. I love to see what everybody is creative at doing, whatever it is that is your, you know, your niche. Have at it and be great at it. For me, I wanted to do something that was reminiscent of a time where having on clothes was sexy and beautiful. And so if you notice, none of my images are overly sexual, but they're still beautiful. And, you know, everything is very respectful, but it still pulls you in. You know, it still pulls you in. And every now and then I'll float back into reality, and I'll do some stuff, you know, that really reminds you of childhood or reminds you of something, or is a political statement. So I gravitate. I try different things, you know, and I also look at different other creators, and not necessarily creators that look like me. So I like to really pull in that knowledge, and I'm not scared to DM creators who don't look like me and have conversations and say, how did you do that? You know, or what's your inspiration, or, you know, or whatever. And I've gotten so much knowledge and support from just stepping out and doing something different and talking to different people.
I love that.
I love that. Thank you.
I have a question that I know my mom would want me to ask. And so this shout out to you, Mom. I didn't get to talk to you this morning, but hey, I got your question. So I did some digging. I understand that you're a Delta as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So my mom is also a Delta.
Nice.
Can
See,
you
I knew
talk
you were good people. I knew you was good people.
So, can you talk about some of the good things that the Deltas do within the community? Because I think that's important to highlight as well.
So I've been in Delta since '89, and long time ago, and ever since, and my aunt was too. And so we're about public service. We have a 5-point programmatic thrust where we, do all kinds of things. I'm in the Chicago alumni chapter, and we have mentoring programs, we have scholarships, we have what's called Gallery DST in the Chicago alumni chapter, where we have every year we have an art gallery where we celebrate African American artists, all original, they must come with original art. And I'm telling you, so started that, there have been some artists now, they have just blown up, and so that's a celebration of the arts. So there's so many different things that we do throughout the community, politically, voters registration, all mental, physical, and mental health. There's so much that we do, and I've served on the national level of the sorority as well, and and that also has helped to shape, a lot of what I do as well. So yeah.
Okay. I
I'm
love
telling you,
it.
Chicago is just where I'm telling y'all. Every guest right now has either been from Chicago or currently is in Chicago. And I mean, we produce beasts. They ask me
Yeah.
why I love Chicago so much. I'm like, look, we produce beasts.
I didn't know how
It's
chocolate y'all were. I didn't know. I didn't know how chocolate y'all were. Like all I think about is Atlanta, because I'm from the South. All I think is, oh, Atlanta.
it's a lot of culture, lot of culture in Chicago, because think about it. If you think about history, the Great Migration, when
Mhm.
folks migrated from to the north to get away from racism and everything else,
Mhm.
and then they came
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
Chicago, one of the most separate cities in the United States. Go figure.
Yes.
But the home of a lot of gospel music, and a lot of the jazz artists were here, Bronzeville. A lot of culture here in the city. Yeah.
I commend you for what you do with the Deltas. I'm trying to tell you, the Deltas were the first ones that I make jewelry. And I remember they came by the office. One of the ladies came in and she was like, Adama, have you pledged? I was like, no. She was like, I'm a Delta. She said, I need a whole bunch of your bracelets. And I was like, what? And when I tell you,
A
she was
whole
like,
bunch.
she said, I'm giving you 2 months. And she
Yeah.
said, I'm telling you, all of them. So since then, I've been able to go to Livingstone. I've been able to go to all the black colleges and just, of course, I said with the Deltas.
Yeah.
So mhm.
You
Shout out
know,
to the Deltas.
The
yeah,
Deltas.
anytime that, and I will say this, anytime that anyone has the opportunity to be mentored or to be surrounded by other people, not just Delta or whatever sorority, but just in general, it does something for you. You never want to be the smartest one in your clique. Never. You never want to be the smartest one. You always want to surround yourself with people that are where you want to be. And
Mm,
so that has given me, all throughout my life, for the 36 years that I've been a member, I've always had the opportunity to surround myself with people who are where I want to be. And again, that can apply to anything. That can apply to, from a sorority to professionally, to just the youth club down at the end of the on the corner, or whatever. So just get out of your comfort zone. That's my main thing.
Because
ooh,
like you said, the higher you go, the more it's not going to be people that look like us. So got to get familiar and comfortable with outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely. I did something just recently. So I am a creative partner with Luma, but that wasn't through Luma. Let me correct myself. So Curious Refuge, you all have probably heard of it. They do film, AI classes, and they do film, they do advertising, they do documentaries, etc. Anyway, they had a meetup for people in the Chicago area who are part of the Curious Refuge courses. And normally, I am not the one who will just go and sit with people I've never met. I'm not a networker. I just don't like it. But something said, Kim, go. These are people who are dabbling in what you are trying to do. They're not necessarily just dabbling, but they're in all areas. They're filmmakers. You know, there are some that are just doing it for a hobby. There's some who are doing it for a career. You need to go and sit down and have a conversation. And so I went out of my comfort zone and I went to a meetup, and it was at a restaurant, and it was about 7 or 8 people never met before in my life. Of the 7 or 8 people, maybe it was just me and 2 others that were African American. The rest, one guy, I don't even know where he was from, but I mean, it was just a variety, and we had great conversation. And it was through that, going to that, that's how I became a creative partner with Luma. Otherwise, I would not have known about, about that program that they had because they didn't advertise it. But it just opened some doors, and it also opened doors to me understanding and learning new AI technology that I had not before. So absolutely.
I love that.
That's so dope.
Networking is so important. It's so important. I really feel like within our Unleashed AI space and now the AI Anonymous space, that's really what has pushed us to the forefront of this AI space. And so I appreciate that answer. I really do.
Yep. So, I mean, and again, I've been asked to, speak at different, like AI online conferences and stuff like that. And, I'll do it. I'll do it because you just never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to connect with. Just all depends on, filling it out, of course, but you just never know. That's the whole thing. You never know.
Do you have 1 or 2 conferences that you might suggest for somebody that's new? Because I know we do have a lot of new people around our group and that we've just become introduced to that are just brand spanking new. So do you have someplace you might suggest?
So I don't have anywhere specifically that I would suggest. However, I can say this: go LinkedIn is people are sleeping on LinkedIn. LinkedIn,
We're streaming on LinkedIn now.
That's how I found out about one in particular that that I participated in. So I would say, as opposed to one particular conference, because it's all new. People, this is kind of new. Everybody's not doing them just yet. They're not having them broadly just yet. But I would say go on LinkedIn and just search for AI conference on there, and then look at was it Afrotech? They have a conference coming up. Afrotech is, and I want to say it's in California. I'm not sure, but look up Afrotech. So just kind of Google it and see what's out there, and then go on LinkedIn, see what's out there on LinkedIn, and then you never know. Maybe you can go to like an Eventbrite or something like that, but just kind of feel it out and see what works for you. And Curious Refuge, they list a lot of conferences too. Yeah.
Wrote it down. I'm like, hey, I underlined it just now.
Curious Refuge.
Yeah, I love them. They saved my life. They saved my life. Because I took their AI film course, and there were some things that I did not know, and I'm so glad that I took the course because yeah,
I'm
I
sorry, you
had
said you have the AI which course?
film. They have a
Film course.
AI film.
Nice.
They have AI documentary, film, advertising, and animation. And they're now getting ready to premiere a advanced film course.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Now you
It's
speaking my language.
well
Yeah.
worth the investment. It's not cheap, but
Of course.
you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
You
That
know,
part.
you have
Right.
to invest in yourself. I made it back. I made it back. You know.
See, and but that's
That's
important.
Mhm. Mhm.
A lot,
It
a lot
is.
of people. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean it is important. I think what I want and see, I don't want to dominate you all's conversation. I want you all to go ahead and get your questions in. But I can just tell you this: it, it leads into we have to get out of if we're going to make AI be very serious about AI images and video and all of that. Doing the we have to move into instead of having to create a lot of sales on one thing to make money to creating something larger that garners a larger price, a larger commission. So, in other words, let's get into commissioning, being commissioned to do work, as opposed to selling one item here and there. So, uh, that's the side that I'm coming from these days.
Yeah, I understand
I
that.
love it.
If that makes sense.
No, it totally does.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of creators have taken advantage of the opportunity of AI being here. But I agree that a lot are not looking at it from that same perspective. And I know you and I kind of talked about when we talked on the phone, we talked about the appraisal and like thoughts around that part of the process and then breaking down, okay, well, how do we get from where we currently are to that place? And there not being a real clear path because there's a lack of understanding.
Right.
So
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
think,
Finish your question.
no, I was just going to say, I think that it's really important for someone else to be saying some of the same things that I'm thinking and have been saying, but it's presenting it differently.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I were talking about whether or not selling AI art is profitable.
Uh-huh.
And one thing that okay, so I am an art collector and I do collect Black art and I collect all original art. Why do I collect original art as opposed to posters? Because there's more value in original art, right? And so what does that mean? That's it's painted or whatever medium that artist has decided to use. It's the original. There's only one original like it and it's sitting in my house. Okay. So that's more valuable. Now, there are levels of value when it comes to art. Where does AI art come into this? Well, when you create an image and then you go out and let's say you do drop shipping and you sell 50,000, I'm just throwing a number out there, of this
Yep.
one image, you're going to probably sell it for what? About $20, $25 maybe. I don't know what the average going rate is for like an AI poster. um and so now you have to sell volume in order to see a real profit in that image that you did. And so now you're chasing the right images to sell at bulk. Okay.
Mhm.
There are AI artists out there, they don't do that, and they are making at least 1,000 and up on just one piece. And how are they doing that? Well, first of all, they've built up a following. Okay. And second of all, what they're doing is they're doing limited editions. So now you're getting into understanding how value of art comes around. Now, you have some people out there who will say, well, AI ain't art. Okay, that's fine. I'm not here to debate that. The bottom line is that there are people out there who are selling AI posters, but they're not doing it on the paper down at Kinko's. They're going to professional art printers, and they are putting their images on what's called G Clay paper or museum quality paper. They're only printing about 50 to 20 because it has to be a limited edition in order for it to be, to be valuable. So they're doing about 50 to 25, and they're signing them with their pen and ink, and they're numbering them. And that is allowing them to sell these pieces of art for over $1,000 each. I'd rather sell 25 at 1,000 than to have to sell 25,000 for $1, or however. And so that's how you bring value, into selling AI as art. And there are other things that go into that as well. And I'm not really, I was going to go to start doing that. And then I said, no, I see some value somewhere else. And that's why I started getting more into the video. But, when it comes to video and being commissioned, now that's a whole nother beast, because now you are charging based on your time, and you're charging based on your ability, your artistic ability, and your time, and whatever resources that you have to use in order to sell those videos. And I've been commissioned quite a few times to do videos.
Hey, tell us about the one. Tell us about the one, and I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know you know. I know you. Look, I know. So I was commissioned by Lalah Hathaway to do a video for her Vanta Black album, and it is the official video, and you can find it on YouTube on her YouTube channel, but it's also on her Instagram page, as well as my Instagram page, and Willow Smith's Instagram page, because it was the song was Tunnels featuring Willow, and man, that has just been an awesome experience, and I want everybody to have an experience like that. And it's not hard to have an experience like that. It really isn't. My story can be your story. I didn't have 1 million followers. I don't have 1 million followers. I don't have 100,000 followers. Okay, I don't have 50,000 followers. I went over to TikTok. I had an account, but I wasn't really putting no time, energy into it. But I started posting on TikTok on a regular basis, and just so happened, I think I had 3,000 followers, maybe. I think I had 3,000 or 4,000 followers. I posted a video, and I went and I looked at it, and I had this comment, and it was like, "Oh, this is beautiful." I got a private message, and it was from Lalah Hathaway, and I was like, "Somebody catfished me."
I would have said the same thing.
Oh, don't play with me. Don't play with me. Right? So I saw that, and then she started following me. And then after that, I started, putting more videos out, and she was liking them, And then her album came out, and there was 2 songs on the album that I love. And a lot of my stuff is really pushed by music, because it's part of just how I came up. There were 2 songs on here that I loved, and I said, you know what? I had a vision of what I saw, and so I did those videos, and I tagged her. And at one point, she was like, "Okay, we might have to do this for real." Next thing I know, I get a private message. Let me get your name, your number, and your email address. My manager is going to get in contact with you, and I'm still like,
Can't be serious.
I'm like, somebody is really seeing this all the way through here, and it happened. And I was just like, OMG. I think I still am like, OMG, because it was a process. That took a while to do that video. There were a lot of edits to that video. I felt very honored and humbled because that meant that she was entrusting me with a part of her career. And that really was just like, oh, wow, wait a minute, So that video took a while to do. I wanted it to be exactly what she wanted it to be. And the process took about 2 months, maybe about 2 months. And and it's out there. And there's another video that I did that is going to only be available on her new website when it does premiere.
Yes.
That's so dope.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is so dope.
Yep. So, and I've been approached by others, but that was the one big one for me because that really opened a lot of doors.
Which platform did you say that was on?
Huh?
Which platform did you say that was on? Where?
So it's on her YouTube channel,
Okay.
and it is on my Instagram for both Layla Hathaway and myself. It's on our page. Yep.
That's dope.
Yep. It's Tunnel's video. Yep. And listen, doing that video has opened up speaking opportunities for me, for people who just want to hear the behind the scenes of how it was done.
Right.
So the opportunities are limitless.
Hey, real quick, Jen, do you have her video queued up over there? Can we take a minute to just, as a group, watch one quick sample of Kim's work? Thank you for sending it over. I appreciate you, Kim.
No problem.
Jen, let me know when you're good to go. Man. I love these.
Beautiful.
Love these. I love
Amazing.
these.
I did that one for Black History Month. That is my vision of if Harriet Tubman were to walk up right now,
That's the one I was talking about. Mm-hmm.
what would she look like? How would she look at us? Let's just talk about that.
Mhm.
Was that-
Mhm.
I'm scared of that part, but
You
She's
ain't
like,
feeling
God,
it.
send me back. God, mm-mm.
I
Well,
can't say
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. I can't do that. I'm just saying that's what she said. I can't save this shit.
She's like, mm-mm. I'm ready to go. She's like, I'm ready to go.
And now,
Right. ASAP.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get one of them? Can I get one of them water bottles as I leave, please?
Right.
yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I have actually two, but I asked my one just in case someone wants to go. I'm trying to see which one in order. Okay. My what pushed you? Because I remember when I started animation, what was the push for you to do that? Because as you guys know, I'm going to say my abbreviation, PP, which is prompt please. Like you shifted from that era of like, here's the image, and you are very creative. So it feels like I'm speaking to my creative twin over here. So what pushed you from just posting your images to like, you know what? Let me see if I can make this move.
You know something? The first images that I did that were photorealistic. So what I do is what's called photorealistic images. So in other words, they look just like real people.
Mm-hmm.
I animated when I posted the images one time I posted just images. That second time I was animating. So it was immediate for me. I immediately said to myself, okay, I see these people, but I need these people to be alive, you know? And so that again, that's just part of, you know, the creativity in me. It was so funny is that the first photorealistic images that I did were based on some of my great aunts and uncles on my mother's side of the family in Tennessee. And they were the best storytellers ever. And so in my mind, you know, I thought to myself, I gotta animate them. This I gotta animate these. And so it's just I started way back then. And it's so funny to see those animations now, then versus now. Even the Layla video, I finished that video in September of last year. I want to redo the video now because I know it'll be totally different, you know, the animation and that's just it's like 5 minutes of AI animation, you know how you have dog years where dog is
Yes.
15, that's the AI years are just it's phenomenal. So I just started. So to answer your question, I immediately started animating the images.
You push yourself in the pool, then you're like, I swim today. I'm swimming today. She was like, I'm swimming today. I'm not gonna wait 6 months. Because it took me a minute. It took me a minute because I remember being literally I was interested in what Uriah was doing. And then I was just like, oh no, I can't. Oh, I can't. He's doing too much. I can't. I just want some rain. I just want some rain. That's all I want. And it took me like 6 months. And I just, you know how you hit that creative dry spell? You're just like, I'm done. This is boring now. Like I don't see going anywhere else. And then I came back, and I think that's when I connected with Uriah. And then I was like, I want this bike to move. And he was like, okay, then make it move. I was like, what? And I'm like, nobody else is doing it though. I said nobody, and I cannot believe at this big age. I said, I'm going to be completely transparent because I like to say that. Oh, I don't care. And it's this big grown age. I was like, but nobody's going to like it. Right? And he was like, have you seen my stuff? I was like, you know. And so the other part I want to ask you is. But that's good to know. So, guys, did you all hear that? Anybody who's listening, all the people who are listening on our live and the watch party, she literally posted the image and then went straight to it. And I think one of the things I love that she said is that she will ask questions. Okay, there's a difference between asking questions and then enabling. So, but she found questions and then she kept going. And then on top of that, I think the thing that I love that you said, and I wish I could get a repeat on that, is that you surrounded yourself by people who were like where you wanted to be, or people who were like in your niche. Like we need to, that's the next level to evolving and moving forward. So the other part that I wanted to say is, what impact do you hope that the animation part will have towards like representing like us? Like what impact? Because I feel like we're doing a lot more with it than, you know, and this is my own personal opinion, not everybody else's opinion. This is mine. But especially like during like months like Black History Month, like what you just did right there with Harriet Tubman, that's phenomenal. That's something that you show your children. That's something that you show in school. And you literally have it out there. And I'm a big school advocate. And you literally have that out there like, here you go. Okay, I'm doing my mic like, here you go, it's for free. Just enjoy. This is what I do. Yeah. So what do you hope that animation would do for how you impact us with the Black history and things of that nature?
So there's a lot. There's a lot going on here when I do what I do. I don't just do things. There's a reason for everything that I do. And first and foremost, there is a thing called AI bias. And we all know, all of us, any of us who have been working with AI images for any length of time, you know how hard it is to get representation of an image that looks like us.
Woo! We just talked about that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord Jesus, yes.
You can put in, I want a woman walking down the street, blah, blah, blah. It's always going to be the same woman. She's going to be blonde. She's going to be European, etc.
Or she's going to be doing them streets. She's going to be outside.
And the thing is that the more that we are involved in this process, the more that we can see accurate images of ourselves. So we talk about all the time that, we don't like it.
Thank you. That was good. That was good what she just said.
We don't like what we see on television. We don't like what we see on social media. We don't like what we see wherever. Okay, well, now you have the ability to create what we want to see about of ourselves. And so that's one side of it. The other side of it is getting us involved in a higher level of what we see working out there. Getting us involved in becoming creative partners, getting us involved in giving feedback to these companies. When you get an image, when you say, I want an image of a Black woman and she's coming out overly sexual, or her breasts are coming out, everything else, you can then come back to that company and say, hey, this is not an accurate image of what I need to see here. So we need to work with your training models a little bit more. I know what images you're using to train your models, to train your platform, but we need to do something a little bit different. And then the more we use it, the more it starts to take in that information of what we're prompting for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one thing. The other thing doing like the Black history stuff, I decided to do did not have a plan to do a Black History Month series of videos. It just happened. And the response from it was so wonderful that I said, you know what? I am a history buff, but everybody else is not. Everybody else does not realize the stuff that I know. And there's some stuff I don't know, And when we see that type of information and we're clinging to it, that means that we're thirsty for it. And so if I have the ability to put it out there, then I'm going to do that. I say this all the time. Whatever everybody's religious beliefs are, that's fine. Go with it. If you don't have religious beliefs, that's fine. But I feel that my talents are definitely God-given, but they're not given for me. They're given so that I can give them to someone else, that I can use and put it out there in the world and put something good to it. Everybody, a lot of people, like one thing that I did one on the Pullman Porters. And people did not know that the Pullman, number one, that they were the first Black labor union in the United States, but they didn't realize the significance of the Pullman Porter. There you go. They did not realize the significance that they had to the Emmett Till story. And so that was something that I wanted to put out there, because I want people to look at my stuff and say, oh, this is nice. But then I want them to also say, oh, wow, that was deep. I didn't know that. And now I've just put our story out there. I've just given you the knowledge that other folks don't want you to have. And so that's a really huge part of this AI, because this AI is giving the films and the videos and everything, they're giving us a voice. It's an extra layer of voice that you have now. And so it's so valuable, to have it out there. That's why I'm getting ready to do, and you can tell me when I'm talking about it. That's why I'm getting ready to do a launch an AI film contest. for underrepresented creators and underrepresented content. And yeah, I'm really excited about that.
I love that. Thank you.
That's awesome.
That was. You do know how many times I had to hold my whole tongue. Do you hear me, y'all? I need y'all to understand, because Kim, I'm on my best behavior today. Look, okay, I went ahead and made the face at you, Uriah.
She gonna say it at least once.
That was easy.
Because I was already, the mic is right here. I cannot stand you. Anyway, so that answer that you gave right there, you said so much. And the first thing that immediately resonated within me is AI, the children that are growing up now, and especially with so much undercover, like things that people aren't saying about color.
Mm-hmm.
What I love right now, what you just said to me matters. My daughter's older, and for the younger ones, we have the power to create us and make us stand out in all of our glory. Because if I had that as a child, I would not have been like, oh, I'm too dark. Oh, I'm too this. I'm too that. And to see the things that you've created and then the beauty of it, that's absolutely amazing. And I loved that was a good response to that. That's how impactful that is, because I love when I see young women are just like, oh, look at my skin. This skin is out here just saying, hello, everybody. You touch me because it's just so awesome. Like I love what you just said. And then I love the pride and the there's a good time to be prideful. And I love the pride that you have in creating what you do. So
yeah,
thank you for that. That was,
you have to think about sometimes. So in the profession that I'm in, I am a realtor, and I'm in front of audiences, variety of audiences, diverse audiences, and I speak at real estate events on branding and marketing. And I'm gonna be real candid right now and very transparent and I had to say, how will me being blackety black this month, how would that affect, a speaking engagement, a paid speaking engagement, or a paid, consulting? And, I had to say, you know what, it doesn't matter. Because if there's someone who has a level of discomfort with who I am or what I put out there, then maybe that's not what I need to associate with. All money ain't good money. So I think that we all do have a responsibility to do whatever it is that you have the responsibility to do. I can't dictate that, but I know what my responsibility is, and that is to put it out there and to put it out there fearlessly. And sometimes put it out there with fear.
Go with it. Just don't even think about it, right? Make it. You felt it. Put it out there. Like that's the creative side. That's what I kind of struggle with being an accountant. I'm always assessing the risk. Like, okay, what am I? Should I put it out? Should I not put them out? I deal with conservative people all the time. They're gonna, I'm gonna be that, that black guy. And then, like you said, sometimes you just have to be risky and do it. And some of the most respect that I've gotten has been surprisingly from like my white counterparts. So it's like sometimes you just have to take that chance and put it out there. And the representation that you mentioned, I could totally agree with that. From my personal fan base, it's my biggest fans are my great aunts and my in-laws, like great aunts and uncles. Like when I come, they're like, "Where's Uriah at? Where's he at? I want to see where's the creator at?" And I'm like, I didn't even realize like they're on my Facebook page more than I could even imagine. And it's for exactly what you said, like seeing that representation in a creative aspect. Like you don't see us in comic books. You don't see us in a futuristic state. You only see us doing a certain amount of things. And especially that generation, it was barely any of us even on a comic book or on TV, and I put my character out there in every situation all the time, and they just completely love it. And my wife always like jokes like they like you more than me now. You come, they want you at the events.
Yeah, that it's something about showing, there's so much value in us seeing people succeeding in a positive way like us, because we know it happens. We know it, but when you see it and and it's a reflection, you're like, wow, I get
Mhm.
comments. I love the comments that I get from people who see what I do, and they'll say, "Oh my God, this reminds me of blah 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 of my childhood," or "This reminded me of, back when. This reminded me of my grandmother," or some of the Black History stuff. I've gotten some wonderful comments and sparked a lot of great conversation, which is what I want. I want us to talk about it, because if we talk about it, then that keeps it alive. We can't forget. We cannot forget these people whose shoulders we are standing on. Yeah, or, you have those people who say, I don't want to see another slave movie. I can't stand no slave, and I get it. I get it. It makes you mad, you're depressed or whatever. But, here's the thing. You cannot forget history, because it repeats itself. What we're going through right now is just a repeat.
Happened already.
It's
Yeah.
a repeat. And you got to know the game. And so
Got it all.
you got to know the game, but you got to know how to play it. You got to know how we played it. And it's so inspiring. It just really is. And I love the comments that I get from people, family, people I don't even know. It keeps me going. It keeps me saying, Kim, you got to put something else out there. You got to give them more.
Yes. I love that. That right there. That's good stuff. I am so pro Black. Like and this Black History Month has hit different, because I, just as you said earlier, I had no intentions of putting anything out for it, and I come from a small town. And when I put my work up, they're just like, "Oh, here she goes," But this time I created something different, and because it resonated within me, and I got so many responses off what I created and how am I doing it, and I'm just like, I love it. I love it. So what you just said, that right there, woo, yeah, I had no intentions, but this year is different. Based off a whole lot of things. This year is different, and it just seems like we're doing our silent movements in what we have. And the last thing I want to ask, guys, because she brought this up, I'm sorry, I know because I can ask a whole lot of questions. How do you see, like you mentioned real estate? So I'm going to move it from the art part. You mentioned real estate, and you said from like what you do with that, have you used AI with your real estate? Has it shaped your business on and is it more like an assistant? Remember, we all talk about that, guys, about AI. Just use it as your assistant. Don't just use it as creating your art. But since we have this here, like she's a combo. She's art, real estate. She does a lot of stuff in the community. So I just want to know, how do you use that with what you do?
I do. I use not real estate, but I use AI with everything that I do. Because here's the other piece. Okay, so the workbook that I have with the National Association of Realtors is teaching realtors how to brand themselves using AI, using ChatGPT. Now, let me say this. I use ChatGPT and AI, whatever AI platform that you like that's similar to ChatGPT, use it fine. I don't care. I don't have a preference. I just like ChatGPT. But I use ChatGPT to strategize. I don't just use it to write a letter for me or to write an email for me or to whatever. I use it to strategize. And so I need everybody to know New Year's resolutions. I don't. I do in October. I start business planning for the next year, because everything you put in place, it takes about 3 months, a quarter for you to see the results. Okay, that's why people make those New Year's resolutions in January, and then come February, they don't see the results, and then they quit. So I start out with ChatGPT saying, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to put this in place. This is what my end goal is. Now let's strategize. Give me a strategy. Let's come up with a mission and a vision statement. Everybody needs to have a mission and a vision statement for yourself. This is my mission for this year, and here's my vision. My mission is what we're going to do right now. My vision is pie in the sky, and how we going to get there. And then I use ChatGPT to say, okay, let's lay out how we're going, what can I do? And this is an easy assignment for everybody. And I'm going to get to more so in the real estate too. Ask ChatGPT, this is what I want to do. You're going to tell it, this is what I want to do. This is my end goal. Here are my abilities. Here's, whatever. Put all the background information in that you need in that prompt. And the main thing that you want to ask it is, give me 5 things that I can do today or this week that will get me one step closer to that goal. And then let's strategize how we can get to the next part. And so I use it for all of that. And when it comes to real estate, because I do sales and all of that, but I'm more so on the education side and teaching realtors how to brand themselves. So I use it to show entrepreneurs what prompts that they need to write, or, in order to lay out their business plan for the quarter or for the year. To lay out their social media plan for whenever, to lay out whatever it is that they need to lay out. So instead of looking at AI as an assistant to help you write an email or to help you write something, look at it as a strategist. And you're going to say to it, ChatGPT, I want you to respond to me as or whatever it is that you need, as an expert marketer, and give me a marketing plan that I can realistically carry out, and then go from there. So that's how I use it. And I see you just put up my masterclass that I have coming up. You want me to talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I teach. I also teach AI, images, and video. And I'm going to do folks have been asking me to do a film masterclass, a video masterclass. And so I'm going to have one coming up the beginning of March, the first week of March. And that is the link that you can use to sign up for that masterclass. It's going to be 2 hours. So it's going to be a really good class.
I think I might have to be there.
Yes.
Did I answer your question? Did I answer it as far as like the real estate and everything? Yes.
Yes, you did. Because I was going to make sure I didn't have another question. I was like, wait a minute, do I have another question?
It's all good. It's all good.
You answered all my questions. You answered all my questions.
Yeah, use it for everything. Use it for everything. That's what I say. I've come up with some of the best ideas just going through ChatGPT and saying, okay, this is what I'm really good at. And this is what I have a vision of what I want to do. Let's strategize. And it thing just spits it out. And you're like, whoa.
I wrote down what you just said too.
Okay. Well, I put it in the chat. I was gonna say, so
I put it in the watch party too.
I put it in the chat and I put it in the watch party chat. I got a comment also that I want to mention from the watch party. Ms. Lisa said, prompting is key. Always tell ChatGPT as an expert in ... insert your whatever that looks like.
Yep.
So I think that's another really good suggestion that kind of piggybacks on what you just said.
Prompting is so key. Let me just say this. I did myself and 3 other AI experts that we do, African American women, and we did we spoke at a conference for young Black teens. And we asked them, how many of y'all want to be entrepreneurs? And at first, when we first got, they were kind of uninterested in what was going on. It was like a good 100 teens, mostly boys, Black boys, or Black young men, shall I say. And they were, on their phones doing whatever. And we asked them, how many of y'all want to be entrepreneurs? And a lot of them raised their hand, probably most of them. And we said to them, okay, so how you going to do it? What you going to do? And they didn't really have answers. So we said to them, pull your phones out, because we know you got them because you had them just a minute ago. Everybody logged in, and we want you to download ChatGPT right now. And they did. All of the boys, they was then, they was logging, downloading ChatGPT. And I said the same thing to them. I said, I want you to say, and they were high school. And I said to them, tell ChatGPT I'm a high school student and I am 17 years old. I have limited amount of money. But I want to start a business that's blah, 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 right? And I said, fill that in. And then I said, tell ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to give you one thing you can do today that costs nothing to get your business going. And you should have saw them. They were like in there like, okay. And then they hit, and then light bulbs came on. Okay. And they were, and by the end of the presentation, because we told them, just call me auntie, by the end of the presentation, they were coming up. So auntie, it said do blah, blah. How do I do? And see who, even if it's just one young man that left that event saying, I can start this business. We accomplished something. And so I'm just encouraging those who are listening, your listeners right now, get these young people involved in AI, because by the time they get into the workforce, that's all it's going to be. And
thank you.
Help them to learn how to prompt. And those of you who are in AI right now, I want y'all to learn how to prompt. Don't ask me.
Say it again, please. Please say it again.
Look at the glory hand, y'all.
Do not say, okay, that's nice what you did. Can I get your prompts? No, you can't. You cannot get my prompt. You can, however, get my prompt formula. I will give you my prompt formula. And I promise you it'll take you further than if I give you my prompt.
Yes.
I feel like, thank you. Go, Uriah, go.
I think we're about to say the exact same thing. Like,
yep.
To us, you're preaching to the choir, but this is exactly what we message, because, like you said, we're pretty much 2 full years into this AI era, like the popular trending era of it. If we just talk about it specifically for image creation and our community, like since AI for the Culture came out, if we say that is the starting point, we're 2 years in. You need to know how to prompt, or you need to be able to ask a question better than prompt, please. Like, you got to be like, okay, how did you get this aspect of the prompt? Like, how did you make this part of that come out? Because that's really the question. If you're asking for the entire prompt, and it's like, you're not trying. You're where are you at? We're not at the same level. And like Lewis just mentioned earlier, like we're moving into a different phase where it's like we can't stay back and continue to just provide the prompt. We're 2 years in, so it's like, at one point, when do you take this serious and go to the next level, because it's like it's no longer just for entertainment. It's not just experimentation. People are taking it to the next level and actually making moves out of it. Like you mentioned, you saw that one image, you made a move, boom, you had a vision, you're making moves with it. And I'm not saying everybody has to operate at that level, but if you're in the same space as we are, like I'm not talking to the people that just started like yesterday, but more so the people that's been doing it pretty much from the beginning. And it's like, wait, you're still not getting it? Like, I'm just confused. Lewis put on an entire clinic last year. We got the guides in the group, and we go step by step. So it's like, how do we get our people to the next level without
enabling.
I don't know. Yeah, without enabling, right? So, and maybe that's just the nature of the beast. Like you said, history repeats itself. The people you hang out with now isn't the same people you hung out with when you were teenagers, right? Some people grow with you, and some people just don't.
You know something. The thing is you have to want to grow in it. You know what I mean? You have to have a vision for it. So like sometimes I get lazy, you know, sometimes I get lazy too. Sometimes I get uninspired. It happens. Sometimes, you know, I recycle stuff, you know, and do whatever. But I do that for a reason. But you know, if you have a vision where it's like, okay, I'm gonna take this can be a career changing thing for me or whatever, you will want to learn more. You become a student of your industry when you are really, really vested in it. If this is something where you think, oh, I'm gonna do this real quick and I'm gonna make a lot of money, that's not gonna happen. You know, I tell those who take my courses that, you know, they'll get frustrated and they'll say, oh my God, I've been prompting for a week now and I can't get my stuff to look like I really wanted to. And I'm like, welcome to the club. There's some times where I'm prompting for like a good 2 weeks trying to get one certain look. You just got to stick to it. You know, you have to stick to it. And you have to just do it, but have a vision in terms of what it is you want to do with all of this. Because it's possible, whatever you want to do is possible. The field is wide open right now when it comes to photorealistic images and AI film. I'm not talking about, and listen, not knocking, again, I'm not knocking anybody's niche, okay? But I will say the GPT niche is crowded. It is very crowded, and a lot of people are doing that, and doing the images with DALL-E and then getting the GPTs and selling the GPTs, and that's fine. If that works for you, that is fine. But if you want to go to the next level, you need to start doing film, photorealistic images, because I tell you, I do everything for a reason. I have been asked to do B-roll for documentaries. You know, the Black History stuff is my practice. You know, it's me practicing how I can do B-roll for documentaries and make it look, you know, and make it look realistic. You know, there's so many different ways you can take this. You know, there's so many different ways. And so, you know, you got to have vision.
To add on to that, it's use it in your industry. Like you don't have to get out like you said, you're a realtor. I'm in business, I'm an accountant, and I use it in my business in photography. It doesn't like you don't have to go outside of your realm. Use it as a tool to level yourself up in your industry. Like if you were looking for a conference, what's your industry, and put AI conference. I guarantee you have very good results as versus just looking at AI conferences. Look up, I'm a photographer. I'm gonna look up photography AI conferences, and I'm gonna get a lot of results. And you stay in that realm where if you know AI in your industry, you're gonna be a step ahead of everybody else. So it's not just learning AI itself alone in a bubble. Bring it to your space that you're comfortable at, and then level yourself up in that industry, no matter what you're doing.
Because we're still early, we're still in the early adoption phase of
Yep.
AI, believe it or not. And I'm just like, how are we not? How are people still not adopting AI? And it is that's where we are. We're in early adoption. So if you think of it like this, and I use this example in other interviews, think about it like this. What if you could go back in time and you could just take a couple of dollars and invest in Apple when the computer was just a box and nobody was using Apple computers, and you could just invest a couple of dollars in it and watch over time what happens? That's where we are right now with AI.
Mhm.
That is
Right.
where we are. You know, if you can take a few minutes out of your time to invest in learning, prompting, and anything else, whatever your industry dictates with AI, you will be so far ahead just in the next year. We're not even talking
Yeah.
5-10 years. I'm just the next year, you know. So it is
Set yourself
absolutely
apart.
absolutely possible, and you will see your income skyrocket. You know,
Yes. Mhm.
Well, and I'm definitely living proof of that, where I took basically all last year to perfect how to prompt for pretty much whatever I want. Like, and in tandem, just teaching along the way, hey, here's how I did it. Here are the specific things that I put together. And hey, you know, shameless plug, we just did a masterclass last week on episode 48, a full breakdown of the framework. It's a repeat of things that we've done all year last year, trying to help guide people in this direction where it's like, hey, you're gonna have to learn to prompt. It will be a normal part of life. You won't be able to avoid it. So if you just take the time to learn this part now, you won't get left behind. If you don't learn it, it makes it very, very difficult for you to keep up with your peers. And you're seeing that in the AI generative art industry. If you're not doing photorealism, it's tough for you right now.
Yep. You're crowded. You're in a crowded market. Not unless you're doing the anime and all of that. Not unless you're doing all of that. You know, but definitely realistic. Because I did a video just recently, and I just said this year I do believe that we're going to see our first all AI motion picture. The industry is there. They went fighting and kicking, and now they see that this is where it's going. But here's the problem. Here's the trick to it. The trick to it is they thought it was going to be a passing phase. A lot of people in the industry did. They thought it was going to be a passing phase, and it's not. And so now they're catching up. They're trying to play catch up. And so those who are doing it now, you're ahead of the curve. You know, it's almost an even playing field now. You know, but I will say this, that in order for me to get, and you all know this too, in order for me to get the images that I do and the videos that I do, I had to educate myself a lot about film. I had to educate myself about photography, about angles, about light, about all of that. And that's stuff that they are experts in, you know. And so, you know, those who are in the industry, they're now slowly adopting, and they're going to get great. They're going to get good at it too. But those of us who are not necessarily industry experts, you know, we're a little bit ahead of the game right now. And so take advantage of it, jump into it, get into it.
Yeah, because they need prompt engineers
They
to
do.
teach them right now in real time.
They do.
Yes.
There are a lot of I've seen a lot of, like, if you go on the Discord for Runway and for Luma and for all of them, they have like job boards who are looking for AI people to do things, to put films together, to do all of that. Yep.
I was just saying that people have such fear of what they don't know when it's there for them to know. And I think I just posted this in our group. People shouldn't be afraid of AI. People should be afraid of not be afraid. You should be watching out for the people who are learning AI. I mean, because those are the ones, because AI needs us just like apparently we need it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
and listen to everything you just said. You said, I had to teach myself film. I had to teach myself editing. I had to teach myself. You kept saying, I had to teach myself. I literally counted 5 times because that right there, that just lets someone know like, it's not AI that you need to be concerned with because AI is ready to teach you.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
person who wants to learn all those things that you
Mhm.
need to be mindful of because they're taking the time to learn it.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
not this is not something for the lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not if you want to be successful for a long time.
that part, and
Sustainability.
the way that we're going,
Yeah.
the way that we're going, in order to maneuver through that, you need to
Yeah.
learn. You need to learn it.
Yep.
Have to.
And
I
you
never thought I was gonna be trying to learn sound effects. I never thought I was going to be trying to learn sound effects.
Oh.
Never in my whole
Facts.
big grown life. And then it makes a difference. You have an amazing video. Imagine Harriet Tubman, that video. I mean, just imagine. No, absolutely. I mean, no, Sam, not a. You'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is nice to look at.
Yeah. And you got to practice too. That's the
Yeah.
other thing.
You gotta get the
You have
reps in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can go back and look at a lot of my videos and be like, what was I thinking?
But you need that.
Yeah. And I leave those
Yeah.
videos right there. I leave them right there.
Leave them up.
It's the learning
Not
process.
take them down.
It's the learning process. AI has been my saving
Yep.
grace as a photographer, graphic designer, entrepreneur. Because like you said, you have to learn that lighting. You have to learn ISO, like
I'm learning
f
that.
stops. Like, what does that even mean? Like, I was like, you know what? I didn't go to school for this, and I'm never going to know it to the level of a pro. I know it.
Yeah.
I know what that takes. I'm like, and I'm just not at that space. But then AI allowed me to edit in a way that I could skip that. Like I could skip a lot of the learning process, and I could get straight to it and produce results that they couldn't do in the same time frame. Because like I was like, all the apps that I downloaded had to be AI driven. Because this was before like ChatGPT, and that's how I started getting like jobs in Atlanta. I'm still working in Chicago and Atlanta, working for Ebony. I'm doing like technical background stuff for the social media posts, and a lot of that was opportunity for me because I was staying in line with the AI. Because the photography industry with AI just took off, like auto editing, like editing the face, and during the pandemic, that's what everybody wanted. You know, that's what people wanted, that level of skill, and they wanted it quick. So I was able to do it quick, good, and cheap. Because like I don't even know where I'm at. I don't even know the value that I'm even adding to this space. I'm just happy to be in the room, you know. So it's amazing.
Yeah. You have to definitely practice. And I try to challenge myself every time I do something. Like I did so my videos, when you see my videos, you know them because either the signature glasses are going to be there, or the color is just going to be just hitting you all in the face, or whatever. But I challenged myself. I was talking to my best friend, and we were talking about Grace Jones and how unique and how just how she is, just she don't care, and her stuff so far ahead, right?
Yes.
And so I went and I looked at the video Slave to the Rhythm, and I said to myself, how can I recreate this? And when I say recreate it, I didn't want to just do images that look like her. I wanted to recreate how the film looked. I wanted to recreate everything about it. And I had to challenge myself to do something different, to change my parameters in Mid-Journey to actually put the weird on all the way up to 1,000. You know, just to push, push the limits.
That's
What's
the
this
woman
gonna
right
do?
there. That's the woman, y'all. Grace.
and
Push
and,
the
and,
buttons.
That
and
part.
see, that's where you get your inspiration. You got to look to people who aren't doing everything, who are doing stuff and they're not apologizing. And
Getting
so
kicked out of
that's
groups.
oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, shadow band and all that other good stuff. Yeah, you got to do all of it. Let me tell you, real quick funny story. I got more community violations on Mid-Journey when I did Grace Jones video and when I did the Josephine Baker video.
I was about to say, if you just say Grace Jones, that sounds offensive because I already know it's gonna be crazy. Like, it's gonna be crazy. Like, if you put Grace Jones in and you get an image, it's gonna be crazy.
It
So
was
I'm like, that sounds like an offense.
I was like, oh my God. But I was like, why am I getting these community violations? Then I was like, oh, it's Grace Jones, And then the same thing happened with Josephine Baker.
Mm-hmm.
They were far ahead of their time, and a lot of the art that they put out there, they were topless or they just didn't care. They was just hey, here I am, with all the perfections and imperfections, and it sparked that creativity.
Feathers. The feathers of Josephine Baker.
The banana dance.
Yeah, they're just like, what are you trying to do here?
Grace with cars coming out of mouth and all kinds of stuff. Just crazy stuff. But that's the stuff that inspires me. So, bringing all that back full circle, you definitely perfect a look for yourself and for what you're putting out there, but get inspiration from other stuff to challenge yourself. And that's how you know when you got that longevity, when you can challenge yourself. And after I did that Slave to the Rhythm video, I was like, oh, I duplicate. I did that. Don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back either, and know that your stuff is good, and just keep doing it. Yeah.
That's key.
Yep.
Hey, okay, so Kim, I got a really good question for you.
Okay.
So it's 2025. It's February 2025 currently. Where do you see the AI industry, and you pick and choose, where do you see it in 5 years? So February of 2030. What does that look like?
5 years, I can't project out 5 months. Okay. 5 years in AI, there's no telling where it will be in 5 years, because I know, like, in this year alone, you had Mid-Journey that just did an announcement that they're getting ready to start doing in the next month or two 3D. They're going to start, having 3D images, and they're even talking about doing some video coming out of Mid-Journey, and that's just in the next month or two. 5 years from now, I think we're going to see, I don't even know. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's stick with 1 year. So in the next year.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't think our minds are there yet in terms of where it's going to be, because it moves so fast. So I think this year, I think we're going to see a whole lot more content creators that we think are human, and they are not. Because we're already following some content creators right now that are strictly AI, and they are making a ton of money for their creators. So we're going to see a lot more of that. I believe, again, it's going to be, more in the film industry. We're going to see a lot more of AI in the film industry. But I also think that we're going to see a lot more interactive experiences with AI. So in other words, AI content mingling in with, and this may go over a lot of heads, because when I first talked to someone who was doing this, it went over my head. I had to go take a nap on it and come back. But we're going to see a lot of for lack of better words, like sentient. A lot of, and that, what does that mean? That means AI that has emotion, and that's where we're trying to get away from. We're not trying to have AI with emotion, but we're going to see a lot of storylines, fictitious AI storylines when it comes to storytelling, intermingling with reality. And we are going to be intermingling with that, knowing that it's AI, right? And developing stories that go along with that, that may go on streaming channels or whatever. So, yeah, I probably went over a lot of heads with that, but it's coming.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to front. What do you think it's going to do to the industries over the next 12 months?
The industries for what I just said?
Just in general, banking, social media, film, healthcare.
Film, social media, entertainment, just in general. We're gonna be you're gonna have your first AI entertainers, singers, etc. That are gonna be coming out. You're gonna have a lot of AI music, and there's gonna be the. Because I am very much pro traditional musicians who actually sit down at a piano and play. Um,
Mhm.
very pro that. But I do realize that AI is going to be a part of music as well. Um, yeah. Um, yeah.
It's gonna be there because if you listen to T Pain talk, because we know T Pain as the, you know, the sound effect singing, but he can actually sing. Like
Yeah.
he has the chops, but he got that niche market where they was loving that sound effect that he put on it. That became his thing. Think about where it's gonna go from there, right?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna go crazy
Yeah.
because even they were saying like it was the Apple the Art of Sound. They was like the best musicians may not even know how to play an instrument because they could just put music out of what they're thinking and it's taking it to the next level. And he was like, and I can't hate it. He was like, yeah, they did skip ahead of me learning how to use this instrument, but if they could think it, then maybe they are the better musician. You know, if you think about it from that perspective, because it's getting to the point where it's like if you could think it, it can happen.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying like I don't know 5 years because it's moving so fast, and where technology goes, it has that curve, right? It's like boom, then it kind of goes down, and then boom. Whereas like it grows exponentially really quick. So it's
Yeah.
like double that, double this, double that. And how does that actually look in society makes a difference. And how also how corporations even allow us to digest it. Because if it's too
Yeah.
much, they won't, they're gonna pause it. They're gonna pump the brakes on us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're going to see a lot of AI being used on the business setting as well. You have the new term AI agents, that are being developed to
Yeah.
take on tasks that, that supposedly free me up so that I can do more of what I do. And I'll have this AI agent who will do those other tasks that I don't have time to do. So you'll see a lot more of that. I will give you this really good positive statistic. I was speaking somewhere and I wanted to pull up the statistics of minority entrepreneurs who were using AI. And as of, was it a couple months? Well, about 3-4 months ago, when I did this one speaking engagement, the statistic came up that more minority entrepreneurs are using AI in their business on a daily basis than non-minority business entrepreneurs. The problem is that those minority entrepreneurs who are using AI, they're not using it to its fullest extent. So we're using it, and we're using it for our businesses. We see the value, but we don't understand completely how valuable it is. And so I think that we're going to have a lot more classes, a lot more, courses coming out, a lot more conferences where people are going to be taking in this information and they're really going to be building their businesses. So it's a great time to be in as well. Yeah.
I agree. I will say Well, okay, so let me ask this follow-up to in response to that, because that also presents an opportunity that we've watched over the last, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years. It also presents an opportunities for a lot of scams and for a lot of new people to be misled, causing a ripple effect, we'll say. What would you say to a person that's new, and how would they use some discernment in figuring out what is a good program to kind of follow? And then that kind of leads into, hey, if you have anything you'd like to promote, which I know you do, go ahead and jump right in.
So I would say, in the day of social media, this is just not AI, but in social media, everybody says they're an expert at something. Everybody is an expert. And so I would just say, do your due diligence in looking at all of the social media outlets where that person or where that group is that you are, getting your information. Check and see if they're on LinkedIn. Check and see if they're, wherever it is, not just on TikTok. No, look, no knock on Hillman Talk that's going on right now, but you just want to make sure that you're getting the right information, because that happens all the time. And look at the track record of the group or the person that you are taking a class with, or whatever it may be. And I think that's what you were kind of alluding to with that question. And I do have courses that I do, and they can. So I have the film course that is coming up. It's just a 2-hour course that, the video masterclass that I am doing in March. Is going to be a live class, and you'll come and you'll get resources to go with that class. It's a $47 class. And I think that is actually nothing for what I'm giving you.
Steal.
That's a steal, because what I tell you in this class, you can turn around and make a $2,000-$3,000 video. And so that's that. But I do have that opportunity coming up. But also just wanted to just talk about this very quickly. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier. The opportunities that have come my way as a result of doing the Layla video, as a result of doing some of the other stuff that I've been doing, that I've been commissioned to do, I realized I need to encourage us to get into AI images, photorealistic or whatever, and storytelling, and telling our story, telling our history, or just telling your story, and getting into that. So that's why I'm hosting a film contest, an AI film contest that's going to launch in March. Going to be monetary prizes, as well as actual in-kind subscriptions that some of the companies have donated. And here's the trick. The trick is that the film that you create, it has to be a story of an underrepresented community. And so that gets us to, number one, valuing our stories. That's number one. Number two, showing you that we value your story, and I value, your story. And I'm going to give you this platform to tell that story, and give you that practice to get more involved, and give you the opportunity to win some stuff that will help you with resources so you can continue, to tell those stories. So that's how I see it.
Oh, girl, I need a link. I need a link.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah. Girl, you doing your thing. You in your bag.
Listen, just do it. I'm at the point now in life where it's just like, you know what? If we got these other people, I was going to say something that I wasn't supposed to say. If we have people that are out here doing what they're doing, running the White House and doing all the stuff that they're doing, I absolutely, and everyone here can absolutely do whatever it is that you want to do. Just do it. Just go, just do it. Who's gonna stop you?
That's right. We in control now.
Right.
You in control of your own destiny.
Yeah. Just do it. And so what? So what? If everybody thinks that you're just, you wasting your time. So what? So what? people think, right. Why you out here making these images and playing with, cartoons and doing whatever? Well, guess
Yep.
what?
Mind your business. What's this?
That part.
Mind your
You ain't
business.
ready. You ain't ready. Holla at me
Somebody,
in a couple of years. You gonna figure it out then.
right. You know what I'm saying? That's why Mickey Mouse has lasted generations. Walt
Mm.
Disney, that's why people are doing, who cares? So what? So what they say what they say.
Yeah.
Do anyway.
Woo. One monkey don't stop no show, y'all.
Hey, you got every question on my entire list. I'm gonna turn this over to my co-host. If you guys have anything else, she covered like literally
She
everything
hit
in
it.
one time.
I think the only thing I could do is just co-sign what she said, because like when she's saying it, it's like saying it from a different perspective, like the with the scam industry. Like I'm in the banking industry, and I went to one of our visitors, like the FBI comes and talks about the latest scams all the time. And what the biggest thing that they're talking about is what we do, like for fun, is the AI realistic images. That's what everybody wants. That's what the professionals want. That's what corporate wants. But also that's what the scammers want. Like, so they were talking about what they were talking about all the apps to do it, but I just felt like they were presenting it as if like these are the bad Apple apps. Like scammers are using Midjourney to create unrealistic, realistic images to defraud clients. And I was like, and they were saying they could do this to do that, and I was like, I just gave a clinic on how to make a realistic image, but not to defraud people, but to actually do it for your craft. But you can see it on this front, they're looking at that like, hey, you're defrauding our clients, you're defrauding the American people to get money out of, of their accounts, which that comes with the territory. Like that's always going to be there. So it's the gift and the curse. It's like the curse of knowledge, right? Once we get to that next level, we got to learn how to defeat evil. Like we talk about futurism, we talk about comic books. It's always good versus bad. Protagonist against antagonist when we on this next level. And the thing is, like, you just have to learn it. You can't protect yourself against it if you don't learn what's there, right? So we learn what's there. We learn how to protect ourselves against it. And if you wait too late, you're probably not going to learn it until you probably before you become a victim. You become a victim. Oh, then you're going to learn real quick versus being preventative and learning before you become a victim.
I think
Go
so.
ahead, Kim.
There is responsibility in what we do. Can I create something that would, be dangerous in terms of, a scam or whatever? Yeah, I absolutely could. But so can that person who created that letter that went to my relative that says they won $1 million and, or whatever. That doesn't make one thing right and the other thing, two wrongs don't make a right or whatever. But I will just say that we just have to take that extra precaution in what it is that we believe and what it is that we see. And then here's what we got to do: take that extra step to do some research. That's where we're not, where we're missing. So we still have to do our own due diligence with everything. So
You can actually put it in chat. Like there's so many times I've gotten so many things, especially when I was job hunting, and then some people would say certain things, and I literally just shared the link over to chat, and chat was like, okay, so this is in my mind, this is how chat's talking to me. Okay, so listen, this is it, and I'm like, ooh, and I'm like, oh, this is a scam. Even though I felt it, but just to confirm it, and it showed me things I overlooked. I was like, how did I not see there was not a phone number attached to that? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's just all there for you. I mean, and then one of the things that you said earlier about when Lewis asked you about the 5, there was a great response. it's amazing how people are now taking, and I'm a history buff too. So if you love history, you already know what's what. How people are taking history and just the beautiful, the everything about who and what we are, and then now they're creating their own story.
Mhm.
And just now you have to fact check what you already have in there. Do you know what I'm saying? AI is literally, and everybody can say what they want to, just like America's land of the free. But come on, to an extent. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's good and the bad with it. And what really scares me is that because I'm a book buff. I love the pages to flip, but I also like to listen to my audiobook when I'm doing things. And I think what scares me is people writing history wrong. That's probably my only fear. Like now that I know so much about it, is my own fear, because we are us sitting here. We are that generation of different pioneers of things happening. Do you know what I'm saying? So we can just point them out. Like, no, really, there's not a town that Truman really did. You know, remember that show Truman, y'all? And somebody created something and said it does exist in Alaska or behind. And I'm like, no, this is a clip from the movie. This is a clip from the movie. Someone took it in here and put their face on there, but I know what to look for.
Yeah.
I have to be aware.
Yeah.
I just worry about history. That's the only thing.
History's already wrong, so it's like it's already faulty, so I like it because now other people could get in on the game versus like only one side of the story is getting watched a certain way. We got other people now that could play ball. Like, okay, I could create a story that looks realistic just the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now you got a battle of the logic at that point, right? Like, who's going to do it? Who's going to take this side? Who's going to take that side? If you got equal playing fields, then I think that's another.
And that was lovely what you just did. You took what my negative was, and then you made it a positive, because that's true. That's true. I didn't even think of it that way, but yeah.
Well, and it also speaks to there's an ethical and moral responsibility to the media that we display to the masses. And while a lot of people can just be posting for clout, there is a group of us that really takes the media side very seriously, and we have to be good stewards of that. And so it's really important to, at its core, do the moral, ethical research within yourself and figure out, hey, what type of content do I want to put out? And in parallel, there's a responsibility before I actually click post or send to do the research.
You guys, we're Superman. What was that? What was that part? You know I'm a nerd. I'm very proud. What was it when his dad was like, with great responsibility or something? There was something. But
with great power comes great responsibility.
Right. And we have this power.
I mean, Spider-Man.
Uncle Ben.
Spider-Man? Was it Spider-Man?
Yeah. Spidey.
Uncle Ben.
But now we have this great superpower. And so what we do with it is in your hands. Yeah. No, this is good. This is good food today. This is good food.
Okay, Kim.
Yes.
Where can the people find you on social media? I know we're connected across several platforms, but where can the people find you?
So they can find me pretty much on all of the platforms except for X. I will not be on there. And so you see my name down there, right there. So you can find me on Facebook under the same name, Kimberly Offord, on Instagram, Kimberly Offord, on TikTok as well, for however long TikTok will be around. And also, pretty much if you Google me, you'll find everything, my YouTube channel, everything. Even on Fanbase, I'm as Kim Offord on Fanbase.
Good, I did it right. All
I
right.
love it. Hey, she said Google me. That's when you know you're official. Like, hey, just Google me.
I ain't mean it like that.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, we need
I
that
love
energy.
it.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, hey, Just Google me. Like that's not hard. I love it.
Nah, I appreciate that. All right.
But I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the conversation and the questions, because I think anytime anyone takes time out of their day and their schedule to just inform people, that is value. That is so much value right now, especially right now when we're being censored and everything else. So thank you for all that you all do.
But we got to put it all in the corners. We got to do the corners, y'all.
Girl, I'm not doing that whole trying to.
Come on, Kim, come on, don't listen to him.
I don't even know who I'm on the side with.
Uriah did it.
I see you. I'm next to you, Ryan.
Do it.
Right. Hey,
That's right. Just do it somewhere. It match. It's okay, Uriah. Uriah, I got you. No, it's showing out.
on the angle.
Okay, the
Oh
angle.
my God. See how they be.
It's showing out.
We almost made it. Hey, we almost made it. I had them on point for 145.
Y'all, I was good.
No, this was really good. Kim, would you be open to coming back again later, maybe in the summer?
Absolutely, because there'll be
Yeah.
something
Do a
going
recap.
on.
Hey,
Do
I
it.
think we need to actually link
Oh
up.
no, we don't want your
and-
corn. Move your hand, Lewis.
No, we're gonna do it together because if you're in Chicago and it's summer, all right, we
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
we gonna have set it up.
absolutely, absolutely. Yes, we
I
definitely.
love that. Yay.
Y'all
Right,
live in-
She actually
in
lives where I grew
Chicago.
up. She lives in the same area where I grew up. So I'm telling y'all, Chicago is where it's at. Y'all don't want to understand
go.
it.
Go.
They don't get it. They don't get it, Kim. I've been
Okay.
trying to tell them like, Louis, like,
Oh,
why you really like Chicago? Huh? I'm like,
Yeah.
it ain't that. I mean, when it's hot, it's hot. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
And it's Black History Month, right? Name another major city that was founded by a black man.
For that.
Hey,
True that.
Chicago is founded by a black man.
Yes.
yes.
Well, there's a statue in Atlanta of Martin Luther King. I tried. I tried it.
Yo, Adama, on that, you tell them where you're at. You get to go first this week. You get to go first.
I
Cool.
like my little shout out with my little sound. I finally got my link tree up. You can find me on Linktree, and I cleaned up all my names. So if you type my name, you'll just put, you know what, Uriah, Adama Siddiqui, you'll find me there. Or if you see Adama Huerta, you'll find me there. I'm on Instagram, Fanbase, TikTok, and like Kim said, I am not part of the X Factor. That's where you find me at.
Yay. We got links, y'all. We got links. All of them. Everybody up here.
Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka.
She said, just look up my name. Yo, I love how
I've been changing it. I finally changed it.
Yo,
I'm tired of y'all giving me
yo,
slack.
just look
I'm tired of y'all
name
giving me
up. Yo, Uriah, you better come with it. Now you got to follow up, bro. Close it out strong. Let's go.
Oh, okay. You got my link that has all the things that I do right there. You could get me right here on Facebook, Uriah Muhammad, on the professional page. Also the business page, Profit Productions. Instagram, profit.productions.ai. You can catch me on LinkedIn, where we're streaming live right now. Uriah Muhammad, Certified Fraud Examiner, CFE. We're also on Fanbase, Profit Productions. So we're here. But if you go to the link app that's you can see right here on the page, you could follow me anywhere or just send me a DM. I could say Google me too. Google Uriah Muhammad. Hopefully that gets you to me.
Come on. I love it. All right. Okay. So Jen, I gotta get us something together. Okay. So am I good? ISO. Clear out. Hey, so we gonna close this out strong. I'm your host, Louis Marshall. Known as Martial artistry. Hey, laugh if you want to. Google me, martial artistry. You'll find us. I'm gonna leave it at that. You can find us Fanbase, YouTube,
Hmm.
Facebook, IG, Threads, soon to be LinkedIn. We're gonna clean my page up, and I'm gonna transition over to martial artistry so I can be on LinkedIn too. We want to be professionals. I took that out of this conversation. So if you got some value out of this show and you're still watching, yo, go ahead and hit subscribe. Go ahead and do it. Hit subscribe. For those that are still here, stop and take a moment, hit the like button, because that actually helps us in the algorithm get distributed. I know that a lot of us are being currently not distributed at its fullest capacity, but you hitting the like button actually helps. If you made it to the end, I definitely want to give a couple of quick shout outs. I want to shout out to Ms. LaDonna, Ms. Lisa. I want to shout out to our music guy, Leslie Blair, over on the watch party. I appreciate you guys being here today. On the Facebook side, I want to shout out to Deb, to Dominique. I also want to give a special shout out to our Unleashed AI Creativity group and our AI Anonymous group for all of the dope posts over the week and for the videos this week. It was really cool to watch everybody leading up to our biggest love holiday for the year. And for the closeout, I want to just give my special thanks to Miss Kim Offord for coming today. This was a great conversation. I absolutely enjoyed this. I learned something. So just thank you for giving us some time today. I am actually going to sign up for that course. I want to get into filmmaking, and I am looking to invest in myself so that this show gets better. So I look forward to talking with you very, 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 very soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
With that being said, great episode, guys. I think we killed it.
Yes, sir.
Some more Black folks in tech.
Welcome to the
Thank you,
leadership.
thank you, thank you. As
Lounge.
always, holla.